So we just went live and I just clicked record. So welcome to Elementals, number one. Okay, so for those who have been through Ignite before, this is, sorry, I'm gonna shut my phone off. All right, so for those who've been through Spark before, Ignite was actually broken down and now broken down into two different sections. So the first section is the first section is Spark, which we'll talk about going over some of the things in order to get you an appointment. So this is like the building the foundation of your business, all right? With the idea that ideally you're gonna get a appointment within the first 14 days. Elementals is kind of part two of Spark. Now this is the actual hands-on doing. Where Spark was the foundation, this is the doing part. So we're going to be talking a lot about prospecting, marketing, buyer appointments, seller appointments, and actually going into the meat and potatoes of our industry. Okay. So yes, I know Dina had asked if this number one, and yes, it is number one for Elementals. And you can always go back. We also have some of the videos and everything like that from Spark One if you want to get caught up with that, but this is still a great place to get started. So welcome. Awesome. So at the end of this session, you're going to be able to describe prospecting and understand how it contributes to your lead generation efforts. You'll be able to explain different prospecting methods and learn how to develop your own prospecting plan. And we're going to go pretty deep today on, when I say developing a prospecting plan and what that actually looks like. It's going to be much more intentional than just sitting down and saying, yeah, today these are the people I'm going to call. Okay, so we're going to be doing a pretty deep dive. We're going to be doing a pretty deep dive on that. Okay, so we've seen this before. These are the tasks that grow business and run businesses. This is what successful agents do every day. And today, obviously, we're focused on lead generating for buyers and sellers. Okay, remember, we already covered a lot of the basics in Spark session, and this is going to pick up, build on what we learned in Spark number 2, understanding the lead generation model. Okay, so this is going to pick up a lot on that and really being able to summarize, to really be able to describe and explain what prospecting is. So I want to hear from you guys. What does prospecting mean to you? What is that? What is prospecting?
Talking to people that you don't know, see if they need any real estate needs.
Okay. All right. Talking to people. I love that because, we tend to think that, we're just going to sit here and if we build it, they will come. Kind of one of those things. And it's not always the case. So I love that. What else? What else is prospecting?
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you, Griselda?
Tired.
The Easter Bunny came over yesterday, huh?
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, but I couldn't find the link at all. I was checking my emails and not for today, and I tried to click like the past the Zoom links, but they were, I guess, they go by dates. Like this was already scheduled on the 7th. I'm like, okay, here we go.
I'll take a look at that because I know a couple people said that they were having a hard time finding it.
I was trying to join on Facebook Live and I couldn't hear you, so I had to come into the Zoom.
Oh, all right. Well, welcome. Love to have you guys all here. Okay. And I'd love to see you guys. I see 4 pictures and I see 6 names. There you go. I got another picture. All right. Love seeing faces. All right. It's much easier talking to faces. So prospecting. It's being proactive, it's being direct, and it's actually going out and finding leads to bring into your database. It's not just waiting for it to come to you. So it's being proactive. And that's one of the biggest things when it comes to prospecting. And being a successful agent is actually going out and finding the business. A lot of people think that real estate is all you got to do is just do a couple open houses here and there, and then you'll be perfectly fine. Whereas the truth is it's a hustle. You have to go out and do your business. You have to go out and do some work. You have to go out and find work. You have to find your next client. I always say you never know where your next $1 million is going to come from. Okay. And, you know, and a lot of times if we're not going out there and trying to find that $1 million, we may end up missing it every time. Okay. So what we're going to talk about today, we're going to talk about connecting prospecting to lead generation. Like I said, we're going to take a real deep dive on prospecting methods. And, you know, some of the agents that have already been prospecting, and ask for some volunteers, and we're going to kind of dissect your prospecting a little, you know, to the lowest level, really, to find out how we can improve our prospecting every day. Then we're going to take action and develop a plan, and then we'll go ahead and come up with some ahas from there. All right, so this is the lead generation model, and you know, you have Millionaire Real Estate Agent. Millionaire Real Estate Agent 2 hopefully will come out sometime soon, and we've been getting little, you know, sneak peeks here and there. And this is actually one of those things that comes from Millionaire Real Estate Agent 2. And this is the new lead generation model. And you can see from the very top, it all starts with prospecting and marketing. And the more people, and remember, this is going to be a funnel. You start out prospecting and marketing. You want to get as many people as you can. You want to capture them, capture their information, so that they can become a lead. Once they're a lead, you're going to be doing those one-way conversations with them, trying to get them to interact with you. Once they start interacting with you and asking questions and so forth, now they're going to be a contact. Now you're going to be having an interactive, value-based touch program with them. Right? They're now part of your database where you've connected with them. You asked them a question, they answered you back. They've given you permission to continue the conversation. And then you're going to go ahead and cultivate those people. Every one of the contacts that you have in your database, you want to cultivate. And that's speaking to them, nurturing them over time, speaking to them 4 times a year, sending them out monthly emails, bi-weekly neighborhood nurtures, inviting them to client events, right? But constantly staying in touch with them, so that when they are ready to buy, sell, or invest in real estate, or if they know someone that's looking to buy, sell, invest in real estate, they're contacting you right away from the very beginning. Once they do call you up, you're going to set that appointment. That's number 5 at the bottom. Wait, am I sharing my screen? No, you're not sharing my screen. I'm not sharing my screen over here. I'm over here talking, and you can't see anything. Let me share this.
I was going to ask.
I'm so sorry. Can you see it now?
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
Happy Monday.
Exactly. Easter Bunny came over here also, but don't worry about it, all right? Still shaking off the cobwebs. Okay, now we're back at the lead generation model. All right, so number 5 at the bottom, this is once we get to an appointment. We're going to get that appointment. We're going to work, we're going to sell ourselves so that they can hire, so that they choose to hire us. All right, then we're going to have them as an active client, an active buyer or seller. Right, we're going to find them that perfect home. We're going to find them that perfect buyer. We're going to go under contract. 30 to 45 days later, we're closing. They get the keys. They get a check. You get paid. We are all happy. We take a picture, put it on Facebook saying, congratulations, my new client. We just closed. And then we take that client and put them right back into our database and continuing nurturing them for the next time. All right, that's the entire life cycle of lead generation and the entire life cycle of your client. But however, it all starts out up top at number 1, prospecting and marketing, filling the funnel with the most amount of people, right? Because remember, at the end of the day, this is a numbers game, guys. Okay, the more people we put into the funnel, the more closings we're going to have at the bottom. Okay, it's just all a numbers game. So number 1, like I said, number 1, prospecting. This is going to be putting people in, capturing their information, and communicating with them and communicating with them regularly. So lead generation should always be purposeful and intentional. Lead generation is the life of your business. So we talked about last week the 80-20 rule, and 20% of your actions result in account for 80% of your results. Okay, so if we were to take all the things that we do and figure out what's the most important 20% of our activities, the number, and we'll have 5 or 6 different activities that makes us successful. And then if we were to do they call it super Pareto, all right? Let's take 20% of our activities, find out what those 20% are, and then let's go ahead and find out what 20% of those are. Right? And we'll find out that the number one thing that's the most important thing that we can possibly do in our business is constantly lead generate. The more people we put in, the more money that's gonna come out. If we don't put anyone into our database, if we're not prospecting, we're not gonna have a lot of business. All right. So our super Pareto, or 20% of our 20% of our 20% is lead generation. It has to be the life of your entire business. All right. So lead generation is taking a message, whatever message you want, right? But taking a message and using a method to drive that message to a desired audience. Okay. We call this the message and methods of your lead generation, or the 2 M's. Message. The message needs to match your market, and it needs to make an offer for immediate response. Okay, it needs to match the market, and needs to make an offer for an immediate response. It should match the market by tailoring the intended message to the sentiments and market conditions of a target group in the area which you operate. The message should have a call to action and can be direct, such as call me now, or indirect, look at my website to learn more. And the method, all right, there are 2 primary methods of getting your message out to your target group: prospecting and marketing. We kind of spoke about this. So guys, remember, this is I'm kind of reading a script also on some of these things, and that was a kind of a confusing message. That's kind of a confusing message as I'm reading it also. Okay, so the message we want, I'm going to kind of just forget the script here. The message that we want to get out when we're prospecting is hire me. Okay. The method is by going out making telephone calls and actually prospecting, or paying $300 a day to have a billboard and having them come to us. That could be the method. Okay. It says match your market. And it says you match your market. You want to think about who your target audience is. Okay. If you're talking about if you're going to be contacting expireds and for sale by owners, right? That message is going to be different than the message that you would give to someone in your database. All right. Remember, you tailor your message to the person that you're actually speaking with. It says, let's see, step number 2 is making an offer, direct offer or indirect offer. I kind of don't like the slide, guys. I'm going to be completely honest with you. I kind of really don't like the slide. I understand what they're saying, but they kind of made it a little bit confusing on here. But it's understand the message that you want to give out to your people. And that message is usually hire me. That message is list with me. That message is let's find an investment property, right? Realize who we're speaking to, and then what's the best way for us to deliver that message to everybody.
Is this chart basically one side to show how you develop your message and then how to deliver the message?
It's yeah, kind of. It's not as much as how to deliver the message. It is kind of just understanding, it's not a one size fits all kind of thing for everybody. All right. If I go out and start delivering a message for sale by owners out to John Q. Public, that's not gonna resonate with them. Okay. It's Alan Waxman talks about the communication formula. Right. And it kind of goes into exactly this, the message versus the method. And, it's A, B, C, D. I think it's A, B, C. And the last one, he says, start with the end in mind. The last one is what's the desired, D is what's the desired outcome. And desired outcome, obviously, is the message that we want, is the get them to hire us. Right. Then the message, the method at the right time. That's actually what Alan says. It's the message, the method at the right time, get to the desired result that you want. It's just another way of explaining that whole thing. And I really don't like this slide, so sorry I completely butchered that, guys. All right.
You brought it all back at the end.
Yes. I recovered at the end. So now we have, be prospecting based. All right. There is, people that would be either be prospecting based or marketing based. we always recommend at Keller Williams and Millionaire Real Estate Agent to be prospecting based and marketing enhanced. A lot of people will go out, a lot of new agents will go out and spend all their money on billboards, on bus benches, on magazines, on print marketing, and just heavy marketing, and that's great. That's definitely a part of our business. However, if we were to be prospecting based, we could do so much more and get so many more results for a lot less money. All right. Prospecting does take a little bit more time, okay, because we actually have to do work, right? Whereas being marketing based takes more money, so it's more time or more money. Prospecting is very proactive. You're proactively going out to get new clients and get some business, whereas being marketing based is passive. It's kind of waiting for people to contact us. When you're prospecting, you're getting, for the most part, you're getting immediate results, whereas marketing based, it's going to be a long-term results. All right. So like, I'll give you an example of marketing. Some people like to say they want to farm an area. They want to send out monthly postcards and knock on doors in a particular neighborhood, and just blast them with neighborhood newsletters and everything like that. And that's fine. However, I always also tell agents that if they're going to be doing a farming campaign, have enough funds put aside for that for at least 6 months, because those are planting seeds where it's going to take 6 months, 3 to 6 months before you even start getting any kind of traction at all when it comes to farming. So,
hey John, isn't it more like a year? Like realistically?
It probably is realistically at least a year, right?
Yeah.
But I know that, like I said, I try to tell them to have at least a few months of money put aside just for that. All right. What ends up happening is I actually don't have a bunch of envelopes right here right now. Otherwise, I'd use this as an example. People check their mailbox over the trash can. All right. And they take all the envelopes and they say, this is a bill. This is junk. This is junk. This is junk. This is a postcard. Junk. What's this? This is something real estate. I really don't care about this right now. Some guy named Alan is sending me these newsletters. I don't care. Junk, bill. And then there's a letter from John. Okay, so that's going to happen. Then month 2, they're going to be sitting there doing the same exact thing. Here's another postcard from Alan. I really don't care about this right now. Junk, bill. Month 3, month 4, month 5. That's going to happen over and over and over until someone gets a job transfer. And then they're like, or has a need. And then they turn around and at the dinner table, they say to their wife, honey, I think we need to sell our house. Do you know any good real estate agents? And the wife's going to turn around and say, hey, how about that one guy that always sends us out those postcards? I forget his name, but he has a beard and really cool hair. All right. What's his name? Alan. Call Alan. Let's wait for Alan to come in. And lo and behold, as long as you're being consistent, a week later, you're going to be sending out that postcard. And you're going to say, this is the guy who we were talking about. We need to contact Alan. All right. That's great. And it's taking a more long-term approach. All right. By the way, Alan, I said you have really cool hair because trust me, anyone that has hair, I think has really cool hair. So, so you're taking it is a long-term approach. I've seen people where they're farming, they fail because they send out 2 or 3 postcards and then they say, this isn't working. All right. And then they stop. And the truth is they probably just didn't give it enough time. All right. But like, again, it's long-term, it costs money, it's expensive, and it's kind of being very reactive, as we're being very passive. Whereas if you were to pick up, I just sent out to the members of the productivity coaching program, I just sent out 530 seller leads this morning. You can call 530 of them, and those are 530 sellers, whether they're expireds or for sale by owners. That's 530 people that have raised their hand and said, I want to sell my house now. All right. Does anyone have a goal of selling 530 homes this month?
Yep.
Yeah. There you go. All right. Well, I just sent you the email, so show me you guys want to do that. All right. I just sent you the emails, 530 leads. And when you can actually say, I have 0 business right now. I'm going to be committed to prospecting effectively and intentionally today. I'm going to make telephone calls. I'm going to schedule a listing appointment for tomorrow morning. I'm going to have my photographer and my videographer go to the house tomorrow afternoon to shoot the house. Put it on the market on Wednesday. Have people going and checking out the house, and if you price it right, potentially have contracts on it by Friday. You can go into it's Monday morning right now. We can go into Friday, the end of the week, with multiple properties under contract. Not just multiple leads, multiple properties under contract, but we have to do it, right? We have to do it. So like I said, this is why I said it's time intensive, but it is also being very proactive, and you get to see immediate results right then and there. So I want to hear from you guys. What are your thoughts about being prospecting based or marketing based? I want to hear from you guys.
John, what you say about the postcards or the marketing scenes, I agree with everything you do. You say, how often do you see that if you decide to, let's say, do marketing with the post, and I say I like that. I like that for a specific area that is not too big, because I seen actually many of the Keller Williams realtors that are top sellers in some of the areas that I know, they do that. But how often do you think we should send those postcards?
Well, it depends. It depends. Whatever the answer is, make sure it's consistently. All right. So if you're if you're trying to farm a neighborhood, send out. If you're sending out postcards to your neighborhood farm, send it out monthly, but send it out consistently monthly. Not I'll do it today and then I'll do it again 5 weeks later and then maybe 9 weeks after that. You got to do it consistently. That's if you're going to be doing that.
Okay. And I agree that it's a good scene. I don't think that is the only scene that when you do that, it's not the only scene I'm doing. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's just something that complements, because I seen it and I seen it work. Mm-hmm. So okay, yeah. Thank you.
And remember, it does work. And what I always recommend is, think about you have 5 different buckets. All right. We're actually going to talk about the buckets later. But think about you have 5 different buckets, right? If you were to take all your budget and everything like that and put it into one bucket, and that bucket is, let's say it's marketing. Okay. You're not getting any other business until you start seeing fruits from what happens in that marketing bucket. Right. I always recommend that you have 5 or 6 different buckets, 5 or 6 different ways of getting clients. Okay. Exactly. And make farming one of them. Okay. Exactly. If you want, make farming one of the buckets. Don't put everything into all your eggs into one basket. Though. Have multiple different things. However, that being said, remember, we're thrown into a shifting market a couple weeks ago. All right. And in Shift, Gary Keller says one of the first things we want to do is start cutting our expenses. All right. And one of the areas that we start to cut down on is a lot of that extra marketing, so that we can focus on maintaining our expenses. And then it says double down on your prospecting habits. Double down on those prospecting activities. In Shift, it actually says reduce your marketing, increase your prospecting. We're in a shifting market right now. We got thrown into a shifting market a couple of weeks ago. Now's not unless there's an endless supply of funds. Now's not the time to go out and get all those billboards and all in $5.95.
Exactly.
Now's not the time. So
now, the other thing that I want to ask you is, let's say you call someone and they ask you, or you talk with someone, like they know you are a realtor, like one of the things they are asking is this a good time to sell? What do you say about that?
It's always a good time to sell.
It's always a good time to sell.
Always a good time to sell. All right. Is now a good time to sell? Absolutely. There's a lot of buyer interest is really high right now because of the interest rates. We're also going into that time of the year where everything is where there's a lot more sellers on the market. Okay. It's always a good time to sell.
If I could just give a quick response, John. So a couple of folks that I've been talking to when they ask that question, hey guys, is it a good time to sell? You got two types of answers, so it depends on the kind of person that you are. You know, for me, I'll say to them, hey, listen, it all depends what your situation is. Tell me a little bit more about it, and then I'll be able to give you the best advice and feedback possible. You know, so that for me is to open up a conversation to come from curiosity and, you know, to not make any assumptions. Oftentimes people would ask me, hey, how's the market doing? Well, it all depends. What are you thinking about doing? All right. So then just jump right into that kind of question so that this way you can lead them on. But if in terms of just reality, if you look at the inventory, you know, for us to know and understand inventory, you know, right now there's less inventory than there will be in the next 3 to 6 months from now, unless things get turned around a lot quicker than what they have been. So when you have a lot more inventory, you have a lot more competition. So more competition drives prices down. So our biggest close has been, listen, your home is worth more now than it will be 3 to 6 months from now. So let's set up a time for us to meet so I can show you how to take advantage of the current market structure right now. That's been a great approach that's been working well in terms of getting appointments.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Thank you, Robert. Very, very important information.
So, Alan, I want to ask you a quick question. I don't know much about your business when you were over at your last broker. Would you say your business was more prospecting or was it more marketing based?
I would say marketing. Although my broker didn't have us necessarily do a bunch of marketing, we had lead sources coming in, mostly passive, just waiting for calls to come, and then working them as they go.
Okay. All right. Hey, Mike, Cholongo, are you on the call?
Yeah, John, I'm here.
There he is. All right, cool. Sir, if you don't mind me asking, how much money did you spend on marketing last year, marketing your business? Not marketing your listings, but marketing your business.
$0.
You spent $0 in marketing, but you were pretty successful last year. How did you do that?
I go after people who have their hands in the air.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
I'm not passively approaching real estate through a marketing standpoint. I'm not dependent on those people that come to me, and that's missing the boat a little bit, and I get that, but I'm just not focused on that business. I know where my results came from. So after the first year, doing things the way I did them, which was purely prospecting, I was like, okay, I can do this way. And then the second year proved that it's a really viable way to do this. The third year, there was some referrals, but those referrals were from people who I didn't know, because I prospected my way to getting that business. So I'm missing a bucket, which I'm working on and have been working on the past few months since Command has come down the pipe. I'm working on currently building that opportunity through referrals and marketing systematically, 36 touches. But ultimately, the business that came from people who had their hands in the air that wanted to sell their homes.
yeah, absolutely. And
Or I'm sorry, I did spend some money on some cookies and water for open houses, because I did do open houses sporadically through the past 3 years.
yeah, and that still goes down to marketing your listings, right? But as far as for marketing your business, Mike, you and I are very similar in the fact that I spent very little in terms of marketing. Marisol, to to touch on your point of marketing in a neighborhood, I've sent out postcards to neighborhoods, not marketing a listing, only a handful of times. Okay, I found the biggest bang for my buck was making telephone calls, and specifically making telephone calls to expireds. because these are people who already raised their hand. They already said that they want to sell their home. They already said that they're willing to work with an agent. They see the value in an agent, and they already said they're willing to pay a commission. All right, so that's who I'm going for first. All right, now like like Mike said, you know, he maybe realizes that he might be missing an opportunity. Okay, but like I said, you want to be. I'm not saying rule out marketing, right? But it's be prospecting based and marketing enhanced. I did a lot of my the marketing that I did do was mostly digital marketing campaigns on Facebook. All right, I would do it to a targeted audience, and that was before Command had the Facebook leads and everything like that. Which I'm sure if I was to do that right now, I'd have much better results as well. Okay.
John, I have done, you know, sorry I'm talking about the same community, but it's where I live, and it's a small community, and I'm trying to like position myself in here because I have there is a lady from Conwell Bank that has been owning the market for some years, so I'm trying to, you know, work it out.
Mm-hmm.
So I did some, I done some North docking, and since I live here and she doesn't, I have the opportunity to, you know, do community events, and I've been, you know, connecting with neighbors. Like, for example, in this time of the COVID-19 virus, I've been calling people that I know and say, hey, I'm going to publish. Do you need anything? If you need anything, just let me know. And but besides doing all those things, I there are some people that are like just very closed doors behind there. So I want to reach those people in a different way, like with the postcards and things like that. So the postcard is not the only thing I'm doing, but it's something that I kind of want to use to break through, especially to those people that I cannot get to talk to.
Yeah, there is a really good MAPS group coaching course called "Farming Your Way to Millions." Okay, if it's I want to say it's $299 for the class, but it's "Farming Your Way to Millions," and it really teaches you how to farm an area, how to select the area that you want to farm, what to put into your postcards, how to put in, set up neighborhood community events, how to set up neighborhood newsletters, and it's really, really, really good. And it's actually instructed by oh my god, I forgot the guy's name, but there's two guys out of Arizona that they have mastered. Their farm is actually by zip codes. They've mastered farming zip codes instead of just little neighborhoods. All right, and I've done so at such a high level. It's Farming Your Way to Millions. It's on MAPS Group Coaching. All right, strongly suggest that that you take a look at that. If you're interested in farming in communities like that, you definitely want to take a look at that. Okay, awesome. So we talked about prospecting. Before we go to the next slide, let's see. Yeah, before we go to the next slide, I want to hear what are some other buckets that we can actually prospect. So I said for sale by owner. I said expired. You know, talked about, you know, in a community. What are some other buckets? Where else can we prospect? What are some other sources of business that we could prospect from?
Open houses.
Open houses. Love open houses. And then Eddie's actually been teaching a class, I believe it's on Wednesday, about open houses. So make sure you're there for that. What else?
Facebook and Instagram.
Okay. Love it. Love it. And you could do paid marketing advertising on Facebook, or you can actually prospect on Facebook. I have like a couple thousand, 1,500 people, 2,000 people on my friend Facebook friends. And sometimes I'll just reach out to people and just send a quick personal message, just saying, you know, hey Jen, long time, you know, I haven't spoken in a long time. Hope all is well. Right. I love using I'm in a contest script. I'm in a contest and I need at least 10 referrals in order to win. Who do you know that I can call right now? Right. I love using that script. And I've actually received several telephone calls or several messages on Facebook for free, because I'm only reaching out. I'm just reaching out to them. I'm not doing a paid advertising, but this is the people that already know me. All right. I sent out the contest script to someone about a year ago on Facebook. And then about 3 or 4 months ago, I got a telephone call from one of those guys that I did that to. And he said, hey, he's in the Marines. I have a Marine that's going to be coming down to South Florida. I know you're in real estate and want you to help him out. When I was like, excellent. So that worked. And that was over a course of about a year or so. When I spoke to the client, he only wanted to look at new construction homes. Even better. Love doing new construction homes. We went out and looked at 3 homes. He placed an offer on one of them. And if you've ever done new construction homes, it's one of the easiest things because all you got to do is bring them there. The homes kind of sell themselves. All right. This was the easiest. And then I'm sorry, at this community, it was a 3% commission plus a 2% bonus on top of that. All right. This was one of the easiest $26,000 that I've ever made. All right. We're supposed to be closing the next week or so, next week and a half. All right. The easiest $26,000 that I ever made. And it all started out with a text message or a private message on Facebook saying, hey, I'm in a contest. Who do you know is looking to buy, sell, invest in real estate? I don't know of anybody. Great. If you do, can you think of me? All right. That's $26,000 right there. And that was free. Okay. I love advertising on Facebook. But here's some other things that we can do. For sale by owners, expired, circle prospecting. I love circle prospecting, not just necessarily in the neighborhood, but around recent just listed or just sold properties. All right. And it doesn't necessarily even have to be your own just sold property or your own just listed property. You can turn around and just go up to any neighborhood that just had a home sell within the last 30 days. Knock on those neighbors' door when we're out of quarantine, of course, right? But knock on those neighbors' doors and say, hey, there's a home that just sold 3 doors down that just sold for X amount of money, right? And then have that conversation with them. All right.
That's awesome.
What's that?
I said, that's awesome. I mean, it's awesome that you bring that up because I think sometimes people don't realize that this business is about talking to other people. Mm-hmm. You know, it's not a solo business. It's a business that involves communication with more than one person. And the circle prospecting, I was listening to one of the agents in prospecting school, and basically she made it about inviting people to a virtual tour of a property. So, you know, as she was looking for properties in a neighborhood, she identified several of them that had virtual tours that she doesn't have any inventory, but she started accumulating a list of people by inviting them to virtual tours that weren't even hers.
Love it. Love it.
And she got leads from that. She just took a listing last week. So, you know, it's just, you never know where it's going to come from as long as you keep talking to people.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, another thing people say is I don't want to knock on people's doors because I don't have anything to talk to them about. I don't have a listing yet. Okay. Can everyone see the screen right over here, my MLS?
Yes.
Yep. Okay, cool. I wasn't sure if it was still showing me. You can actually go over here and go to my firm's active listings. Okay. And this is everyone in your brokerage in Keller Williams, Coral Springs, Keller Williams, Fort Lauderdale, whatever, that have taken a new listing within the last 30 days. Or actually, these are all active ones. All right. And you can actually go through and pick the neighborhood that you like. Let's say, hey, Mike, I'm going to use this one. You got some Wyndham Lakes over here. All right. I like this neighborhood. Actually, this is one of our agents that did it. Excellent. It will be perfect. So you can actually go into Wyndham Lakes, right? And all these homes around there and just say, hey, we just listed a home in your neighborhood. All right?
Help him sell it. That's Dave Canton. That's Dave's house from our market center. He's selling his own house.
That's his house.
That's Dave Costella. Yeah. Help him sell that thing.
Perfect.
Yeah.
You guys can feel free to sell my house too.
Yeah. Sell Jen's too. Sorry.
When you're speaking to neighbors, you can go up and just say, hey, we just listed a home in your neighborhood. You didn't say that you just listed a home, right? You're saying we. Remember, the listings don't belong to us. The listings belong to the brokers, to Keller Williams Coral Springs. So you're not misrepresenting by saying that we just took this home over in Wyndham Lakes. You're not misrepresenting anything at all, right? And it's showing Keller Williams Coral Springs is in active production. You could do that in any one of these neighborhoods.
You can do that with anybody's listing in any company. Hey, a home just listed for sale.
Mm-hmm.
A home just sold in your neighborhood. Doesn't matter who's, could be Caldwell, could be Remax. It doesn't matter who sold it. You can circle prospect around anything.
And what I love doing is when there's a home just listed, or if I'm doing an open house, I like to door knock. I go 10 doors that way, 10 doors in front to the left, 10 doors to the right, 10 doors in front and back. I just want to get those homes that are all around there. Okay. Another thing that I do when I'm farming circle prospecting in a neighborhood. So in my neighborhood, I live in Sunrise. And in this neighborhood, there's 360 homes. Well, I don't want to go knocking on 360 doors. In fact, I know that the house 2 doors down sold a couple of months ago. So if I go knock on his door, I'm just meeting a new neighbor. He's not going to be buying or selling a home anytime soon. Okay. So what I want to do is I want to pick and choose of those 360 homes who might work with me now. Okay.
Can you use Remind for that?
I'm sorry?
Can you use Remind for that?
You can, and I've never used them. I've never used them. I know that is one of the services that they have, but I just go through IMAP. I know Remind also is has a paid subscription as well. All right, I go into IMAP. I say I filter it out by the neighborhood, and then I filter out owner occupant. I filter in. I only want owner occupants, people that's living there right now. All right. And then I go into anyone who has lived in that house for more than 7 years.
At least 7 years.
I'm sorry?
At least 7 years they've owned the house.
At least 7 years, yeah. So that way I'm looking at 360 homes, and I'm actually narrowing it down to maybe 130, 140 homes. All right. And then remember, this is a way where I can pick, choose, and refuse who I want to work with. All right. And I can pick, choose, and refuse the homes that I'm going to go knock on their door. I'm saving myself time. I'm saving myself money. Now, that's not to say the other 200, 180 homes I'm not going to talk to. I'm still going to talk to them. But if I was going to go door knock, I'm going to door knock every few doors. All right. And I want to target those to the people that may actually give me business right now. All right. So it's about being about targeting. Community outreach, whether you're doing charity or volunteer work, key relationships. Think about not only the people you have in your database, but think about it's also the people that you have done business with in the past. All right, it's also your vendors. Business to business networking. Right, I love when I'm contacting someone and I ask them, "Hey, Mr. Business Owner, are you taking new referrals?" Yes, great. What does a great referral look like to you? Okay. They tell me that way. I say, hey, if I find someone that's looking for your business, I can refer them to you. Do you want me to tell you what a great referral looks like to me? Right? And then, that way they can send me business as well. All right. Business to business referrals is an awesome, is an excellent source of business. Third-party data companies. All right. Give me an example of a third-party data company.
Land Voice.
Land Voice, yep. Land Voice, Bold Leads, Vulcan 7, RedX, those ones. I'm not talking about lead services like Zillow. I'm not talking about something like that. Right? I'm talking about just where you're getting data from so you can make those telephone calls. What was that, Marisol?
John DiMartino.
John DiMartino, yes. Join my pro team, and I will send you those. I will be that lead service for you. All right. Investors, all right. When you do have a listing and you put a listing on the market for $400,000, a couple days later, a lot of times you're going to get one of those super lowball offers from an investor that says, I want to buy the house for $235,000. And it's an insulting offer. And you know what they're trying to do is just throw as much what to the wall and see what sticks. All right. Somebody is going to be desperate and need to sell their house, even if it is at 70, 65 or 70% of market value. So what I do when I get those, instead of being just dismissing them, I contact that investor and I say to them, hey, Mr. Investor, obviously they're investors at this point. Hey, Mr. Investor, client's not interested in entertaining your offer. However, I'd like to keep in touch with you. Can I add you to my database? All right. So I end up getting several emails a day from different investors that's either looking for properties or has properties that they're selling. All right. And this all of a sudden becomes pocket listing. These all of a sudden become inventory that's not on the MLS. All right. So when you do get those investors reaching out to you, they're a great source of business. All right. They're not emotionally attached. They don't have to live in a house for 7 years. If they see a good deal, they'll jump on something. So build your pool of investors in your database as well. Teaching and speaking opportunities. I'm sorry?
Have you found a way to target investors through Facebook ads?
I haven't, and I'm sure you can. If you can actually go to, take advantage of Facebook groups, going into different groups that do wholesaling, that do flipping, that just take advantage of those. Try to join those groups and introduce yourself as a resource. All right. I'm not too familiar with like doing a targeted marketing directly to investors, but if I had to do something, I would go to Facebook groups and check that. All right. And also, even if you have a couple investors that you're already speaking to, ask them, hey, where do you guys hang out? All right.
Sure.
Where do you guys hang out? Is there any groups? I want to get more involved with this. You can actually go into meetup.com. All right. And it's not like a little, it's just a place to go that has different meetups of investors, people with like hobbies, people with like thinking, people that are gathering for a common cause, right? And attend some of those real estate investing, those meetup events. In fact, if you actually, one second, Rob, if you actually go to kellerinc.com, there's a section that says resources, all right, and there's some material in there so that you can actually host an real estate investor workshop. The script is there, the PowerPoint presentation is there. Think about the value that you would provide people when you're meeting up with a group of real estate investors and saying, hey, I'm hosting a real estate investment seminar.
I could do that right now.
You can do that right now. You don't even need to go and do it online. Kellerinc.com
right.
resources. All right. I know people have done first-time homebuyer. There's also a first-time homebuyer thing there as well. But first-time homebuyer presentations, investment opportunities, and so forth. Robert, I'm sorry, you had something.
I was just going to mention. I love what you shared too, man. I didn't realize about that resource link, so I'm going to go check that out. You said
Absolutely. Awesome.
Keller Inc.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. One thing that I've seen that's worked in the past is that you just post, and I don't know, it's been a while since I've done this, but I don't know, you might be able to do this, but it's small house on a big lot, ad, and it's a very general ad in a general location, because usually you can find certain neighborhoods that have like those types of descriptions in terms of homes. And investors will typically just say, hey, listen, is it still available? You just put a price range, and it's been thrown within Craigslist, something that we used to do up in New York. So,
love it. It's being creative. It's being creative in how you can reach out to the most amount of people. Okay. So I love it. These are just some of the ways. Some of the ways that you can. Some of the buckets that you can prospect to. All right. Anything else? Any other ideas that you think that we left off the list over here? Anything else you think that another way that you can prospect to find new business?
John, I have a question.
Yes.
When you have on here apartment complexes for circle prospecting, if if I have a listing and I want to try and target apartment, renters, what's the best way to do that? Like get the addresses from Bressers or?
You can. All right. That's one thing. If you want to do social media, or if you wanted to, I know on IMAP. So all right. So in my neighborhood, it's all single family homes. All right. So if I wanted to target some of the renters that are paying $2,500 a month renting a single family home when they could have a mortgage for $2,200 a month, let's say. All right. I'm gonna go to IMAP. I'm gonna filter out the owner occupieds, so I know that the owner lives somewhere else and there's a renter in the house. All right. And those are the houses that I'm gonna reach out to. Knock, knock, knock. Hey neighbor, my name's John. There's a home that's listed up the road that you might be interested in. All right. We know that they're renting the property because their name isn't on the tax record. The owner lives somewhere else. All right. That's one way you can target them. Another thing is you can go on to I think they took it out. I believe they took it out last year off of Facebook for the housing situation. There used to be a target criteria of, are they non-homeowners? They're renting or non-homeowners, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I believe they took that out, so you got to be a little bit more creative.
Okay. And send it to the property address, obviously, so that the renter sees it, not the homeowner.
Exactly.
Okay.
Message. Go back to my butchered slide, message and method. All right. If I wanted to have a conversation with, you've been, with a landlord for him to sell his home, or I could sell my services, I'm going to send that to the owner mailing address, not to the property address. Right. Whereas if I'm saying I want a renter to become a buyer, right, I'm going to go to the property address.
Okay. Thank you.
I was wondering about VRBOs. Is there any way to get a list of people that are renting the VRBOs to maybe target them? People come down, they ended up liking the neighborhood. It might be a very long-term, again, type of prospect, but just an idea.
I know you can find which houses are currently renting through Airbnb or VRBO. Remine.
Okay.
I don't know how you can get the people that are actually renting the places though.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not too familiar with it, to be honest. All right. Again, it all comes back down to it. A lot of it is you just have to be creative. Right? How can I find this this information? How can I deliver my message to the right person the best way? All right, different prospecting methods. So we're going to kind of talk, kind of go over it. And we already did talk about some of these. Let's see. There's a couple different. Give me 1 second here. Door knocking, agent-to-agent referrals, open houses, social media. Let me ask you something. Has anyone ever received a paycheck or a commission check from an agent-to-agent referral? All right. I absolutely love agent-to-agent referrals. I love agent-to-agent referrals. I actually got a check. I just put it away yesterday. It was a check for $2,800 that I completely forgot about. I got an email from the MCA one day saying, "Hey, there's a check in your box for you." When I got it, I was like, "What is this? I have no idea what this check is from." And it was a referral that I sent to an agent over in Long Island a few months ago. Several months ago. And I believe Eddie, who may have jumped off the call, Eddie actually helped put me in touch with that agent over there, I believe. He referred me to that person. So I love that. I put two people in touch with each other somewhere far away, and a couple months later, I get a check in the mail. That was awesome. I love mailbox money. I will take mailbox money every day. All right. I told you doing that new build was the easiest $26,000. This is the easiest $3,000 that I've ever made, just by putting two people in touch with each other. And I've done that a couple times. All right. Open houses, I know Alan brought up open houses as an example earlier. Open houses are amazing. In fact, everyone on the call, if they do not have any business right now, all right, after quarantine, if they do not have any business after quarantine, do some open houses. Because every single person that walks into an open house is a potential buyer and a potential seller. Be strategic about your the houses that you choose to do open houses for. When I say be strategic about that, think about how quickly can this, what kind of interest is in this neighborhood in this price point. I love 350 to 500. That's my price point. I will sell that price point every day, all day long, twice on Sunday. I love it. All right. And the reason is because there's a lot of inventory. It's still very affordable for most people. All right. And at 350 to 500, chances are they have a house, even if it's a small townhouse, a small single family, or a condo, that they want to step up to. So everyone that comes into that house might be a buyer. Will be a buyer and potentially a seller as well. All right. So I absolutely love that. And I already shared my example on social media. Door knocking. All right. Like I said, you can when you're reaching out to door knocking, you could do this for just sold, just listed, open house. By the way, you always want to door knock for open houses. Okay. If you're never going to door knock any other time, do it door knock, especially for open houses, because you're not selling anything. You're just knocking on the door and saying, hey, I just want to let you know we have an open house this Saturday at this property from 11 till 2, but we're going to do a special neighborhood exclusive or neighbor exclusive from 10 to 11. All right. And what I like doing that in the very, very beginning. You're going to get neighbors that's going to come in, even if they just want to be nosy and see what the house looks like. That's fine. All right. They're going to come into the house and potentially know somebody else that might want to come in. Also, they're going to get an idea to see what you do, because they might be thinking about selling their home as well. But I love doing the open house from 11 till 2 and then having a 10 to 11 neighborhood exclusive.
If you get neighbors that actually you door knocked and they show up to that open house, there's a really good chance that they're interviewing you as the realtor.
Excellent.
That's the purpose of being there. Yeah, they want to see what the house is worth, see what you're selling it for, see how it compares to theirs. But ultimately, they're interviewing you. And also realize you're on stage with the potential, with those visitors that are there, because a lot of those people who are attending an open house also have a house to sell. Again, you're on stage. It's your interview process. You need to be at your absolute best.
Yeah, absolutely. Mike, we've done a couple open houses together, and I know at the last open house we had, you made it a point to speak with so many of the neighbors, and you got some potential business from that, correct?
Yeah. I mean, it's always potential business. Everything's potential. What changes it from potential to purposeful? Right? So we're putting in our commands, building our database, communicating with them on a consistent basis, and being really purposeful with the content that we're sending them. So potential. I like to speak with everybody. You know what I mean? That's what they came for. They came to be informed and listen. They came to be entertained. They saw some balloons. They were like, hey, let's go and see what's going on there. Like, be your level 10 when they're in there, and be knowledgeable about the neighborhood. Be knowledgeable about the property that you're holding the house open for. Because some people will just show up and go, okay, here's the house, here's me, I open the door, I'm good. Don't know anything about the home. Don't know the features and benefits. You should know what the roof age is, what year the water heater is, what year the AC is. You should know step by step what the association fees. You should know everything, because everything, like John likes to say all the time, everything conveys. And so when you know everything and you know it cold, you're proving that you're a professional, and that interview is going to go really well.
Yeah, absolutely. I love having the neighbor. I love doing the neighborhood exclusive. That preview. First of all, exclusive all of a sudden sounds like, you know, ooh, something special just for us and so forth. Hey, Lucy, are you there? I don't know if she can hear or not. She's on or not. So Luce and I did an open house a couple years ago.
Yes, I am here.
Hey, Lucy. So when we sold the house over in Jasmine on the Greens in Tamarack, do you remember we had Lisa across the street? She came over.
Yeah.
So Lisa was just a neighbor that lived across the street and so forth, and she came over for the neighborhood exclusive that 1 hour. Luce, what did Lisa do the rest of that day? Do you remember?
She was talking to a lot of people that she knows. She living in that community for many, many years, and she was inviting a lot of people into our open houses.
Yeah, Lisa came, I don't know where she found these people, but she came over the house around 10 to 11 o'clock. And then she came by around 11 o'clock with some people that lived in the front of the neighborhood. And then she came by around 11:45 with some friends that she had. And then around noon, she brought some other people in. And I didn't know what she was doing. And she had this little real estate side hustle on the side. I don't know. But she brought so many people to that house that day. All right. She may have had two different motivations. Maybe one of her motivations was she wanted to help us. Okay. And the other motivation is she knows that she's a seller and homeowner in that neighborhood. And if she sells that house for top dollar, her value in her home goes up. Okay. So kind of think about that. It benefits them as well when you do that. Thank you, Lucy. You have face-to-face contact with them, right? When you're door knocking, it provides the opportunity to ask for business, offer advice, or be a valuable resource. To Marisol's point, when you're door knocking, you're helping to build a farm. All right. When you're knocking in the neighborhood, people are gonna know you. They're gonna remember you. They're gonna start seeing your face over and over and over again. They're gonna start seeing your name. Think about if you're sending them a postcard and then you're calling and then all of a sudden you're door knocking. They're gonna kind of see you as almost a neighborhood celebrity, saying, "Oh my God, I know this guy." All right, I've seen him. That's the guy who sends me a postcard every couple of weeks. I know this person. All right. When you're out, leverage your monthly your neighborhood nurture. All right. When you're speaking, knocking on doors and speaking to people. All right. People want to know what the value of their home is. People want to know what's going on in their neighborhood. So leverage our resources that we already have. Get their contact information and put them in your database and put them on a neighborhood nurture. All right. That way they know what's going on. You're providing value to them. And then when they see that value, and once they have a need, remember it's emotional proximity. When whoever is the closest to them, when they're ready to make a decision, is the one who's going to get that piece of business. All right. So come from contribution all the time. All right. So the model for door knocking is approach, know your script, ready your mindset and materials, knock and step back to create space. You know, knock on the door, take a step back. You don't want to be that person who, as soon as you open the door, you're like really close right there. You don't want to be that person. All right. So the next thing is actively listen. Come from contribution, offer value, whether it's a flyer, whether you're giving your app or so forth, or you're telling them about that home that just listed or that home that just sold. All right. You want to ask things like, how can you help? And those are things you're listening out for. What are ways that you can help them? Then you want to ask. You want to ask for business. You want to ask for referrals. One of the biggest things, especially when you're door knocking, is you want to ask for permission to stay in touch with them. Hey, Brizaldo, one of the things I like to do is keep my friends and family up to date with local market information. And what that looks like is usually just an email once a month and maybe a call every couple of months. Would you mind if I added you to that list? All right. We're asking for permission. And by asking permission, we don't have to worry about that do not call list anymore because they've already given us permission to contact them. All right. Once we're done speaking, then we want to make sure that we're adding the contacts to our database. We're adding them to a neighborhood nurture, to a smart plan, and that we're following up with them again in the future. All right. That's door knocking. Agent to agent referrals. All right. you can go onto YouTube, and I'm not going to spend too much time on this, but you can go onto YouTube and just look for a video on building your agent database, your referral network in Command. All right, and if you're not doing this right now already, I strongly suggest that you do such. Okay, you want to grow your agent referral network. You want to manage them. That means just every once in a while reaching out to them, saying hello. You want to maintain that relationship with them, maintain communication with them, and just continue that cycle. If you go into Command, and like, so I'm not going to go through the step by step here, but if you go through in Command, and there's one of the, it's not on here, no, but one of the icons says referrals, and then it asks you to look at your network, your referral network, or grow your network. And what's great is think about areas that you know people are going to. All right. So let me ask you, we all live down here in South Florida. We talk to people. Where do we see a lot of people moving to? Leaving South Florida, moving to where? What are some places?
Port St. Lucie.
Port St. Lucie. That's a huge one right now. What else?
North Crackalaca.
There you go. That was what I was actually looking for. All right. They a lot of everyone that moved from New York back in the 80s, 90s, and early 2000s. They moved from New York down to Florida, and then they move halfway back. They call them halfbacks. All right. They go to North Carolina. All right. Where else? Where else is everyone moving to right now?
Like the new construction for seniors, like I don't remember the name of the community now, but I went to an open house of a new community. It's Valencia, and a lot of seniors are moving over there.
Yeah.
And I went to an open house like I don't know, like a month ago, something like that. I tell you, it was packed. A lot of seniors moving into those senior communities.
Yeah.
My mother-in-law lives there.
There you go. All right.
I actually have a client who's trying to move into Valencia Sound. And I put my name with the with the builder. So I'm hoping I'm going to have the same result that John is having with his.
Yeah.
Exactly. It was a lot of people that day. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
What about Tennessee, John?
I don't know. I haven't seen a lot of people going to Tennessee. Are you seeing that?
I've noticed on Facebook a lot of friends that have relocated there.
Yeah. How about Jacksonville?
Mm.
I know I know of a lot of people, or I've heard of a lot of people that have moved from here to Jacksonville in the last couple of years. Right. In fact, in Command referrals, there's actually a report that will show you a trend that will actually show where people are moving to right now.
Jacksonville's cheap.
Jacksonville's cheap.
Real estate is very affordable there, and yeah, it's a nice area.
Absolutely. Let me see. I want to see if I could find this. I know they rolled this one feature out at Family Reunion that shows where referral trends and where people are going to. All right. One of the biggest here we go. One of the biggest trend that I saw was from Fort Lauderdale to Miami. Yeah, I see Alan's face. Why would you send a referral down to Miami? All right. Well, there's some people that myself included. I don't know anything about Miami. I never go down to Miami. I don't know anything about Miami, and I would almost be doing my client a disservice if they were onto something specific in a certain area, right? That I wasn't very familiar with. I could refer them to a partner that I had down in Miami that might actually be able to assist them, whether it's down in Kendall, whether it's down in Miami Beach, wherever it is. Okay. That was actually the number one referral source. I can't share this one on the screen, but some other places, New York, Washington, D.C., North Carolina had a huge one. Wilmington, let's see, to Knoxville, Tennessee. Yes. And Chicago, Detroit, Cleveland, Tampa, Orlando, Daytona Beach. All right. So there is a lot of people that go into those areas. The reason I say those areas, right? And think about where people are going to. You can actually go into Command, grow your network, and look and see who's over in Charlotte, North Carolina, and interview a couple agents over there. See which agents over there that you might want to connect with and build a agent-to-agent referral with. That way, when we do have someone that says, hey, I want to go to North Carolina, hey, you know what? Contact this guy. By the way, his name is Eric Maynard over in Charlotte, North Carolina. Reach out to him, great agent. Okay? And have people like that in your back pocket so that when someone does say, hey, I'm thinking about moving to Charlotte, you can say, oh, great. You know what? Call Eric. You got to call Eric. Eric's the guy you got to go speak with. All right. So build your agent-to-agent network like that. It's great to have someone in Santa Fe, New Mexico. That's great. All right. But if you don't have people going to Santa Fe, New Mexico right now, right? Just kind of target who you want to add into your database right now. That's my point. Have people all over, but target the people who you want into your neighborhood. Conversely, let's say someone does come over and says to you, "Hey, I'm getting relocated to Juneau, Alaska." Okay, well, I don't know anyone in Juneau, Alaska. Okay, but I can easily go into grow my network, search Alaska, narrow down to the city of Juneau. All right. This guy's moving, so I want to find a buyer agent who has sold at least 4 or 5 homes or in that area already. I can search all that. I know my client is a young guy, so maybe I want to put him in touch with someone that's part of Keller Williams Young Professionals over there. I want to make sure it's someone that's attended Bold before, right? And instead of looking at 150 agents, I might only have to interview 3 or 4 agents that fits that criteria, right? And then send the referral over to them. Agent-to-agent referral is huge, and don't ever underestimate that.
Hey, John.
Yes.
Sorry, how do you search a specific agent? Like if I know I have a friend who's a Keller Williams agent in another state, how do I search for them to send them the message to connect?
I think you'd actually have to find the market center that they're in or the city. And when you put that city in, it'll have all the agents along the side that's active in there.
And click from there. Okay, so you can't just search by their name.
I don't think so, unless they're already in your network.
Okay.
Okay. But let's say someone says they want to move to Sacramento and you don't have anyone in Sacramento. All right. And you don't want to contact 40, 50 people and reach out to them. Right. There's another option on there that allows you to reach out to the market center directly. And you can call it their team leader and just go up to their team leader, call it their team leader and said, hey, this is what I'm working with. I'm working with a buyer in Sacramento that wants to buy a $600,000 home. I don't know what that would get you in Sacramento, right? But this is what I want. Put me in touch with your best agent, and then let them decide who is the best agent for that area. All right. We're in 90 different countries. I just sent a referral down to Colombia. Okay. I know Brazilda has a referral that's looking over in Dominican Republic. I know Jen sent someone over to Brazil, to Sao Paulo. You know, there are people all over the place. And even if it's not a Keller Williams agent, because there isn't a KW in Brazil yet, okay, reach out to other people that might know people in that area. All right. And Jen, I believe that's what ended up happening, right? We didn't have a KW in Sao Paulo, so we put you in touch with someone else who knew someone.
Yep. So you put me in touch with someone here, and they're from Brazil, so they know someone there who's a top agent. So she's actually, well, right now my client's kind of on hold because of everything that's happening, but he'll be working with her. So
yeah, excellent. I mean, it's make that another source of your business. All right, go onto Facebook and sign up for all these referral network groups. All right, and have a nice little pitch. That way, when someone says, I'm looking for an agent in Broward County, Florida, you could say, mine is the same thing all the time. We're a husband and wife team, specialized in selling residential real estate in South Florida. In six-time Bold graduate, ALC productivity coach, the whole thing. Contact me here. All right. It's just another bucket, and definitely want to take advantage of that. I know we've spoken about open houses a lot in the past, and we spoke a little while ago earlier today. But I know Wednesday there is a class on open houses. There's another really great resource that anytime I'm talking about open houses, that I really like to recommend. And if you go to YouTube and just YouTube a video called On Mega Open Houses. All right, you have mega open houses. I want to say it's Tom or Mike Ferry has a mega open house class. Joshua Smith does a mega open house class. And what their mentality is, let's take the open house that we already know, and let's make it an event. And let's not just do it as something to do for 3 hours on a Saturday. All right, making it an event, advertising it like it's an event. Get a food truck, put a food truck outside, not just have balloons outside. All right, think about it. If you had a food truck or ice cream truck out front, you think you're gonna get more people knocking on that door. All right, have an offering inside the house. So when I say an offer, I love telling people that we're gonna be raffling off a $100 gas card, all right, or a $50 gas card. All right, I love doing that because people want to win a gas card, right? And they have to register to enter. And when you find out, what you'll find out is that Mickey Mouse is not going to show up to your open houses, because a lot of people like to write Mickey Mouse and give you a bogus email address. But if you're if you're going to raffle something off to them at the end, all right, chances are they're going to give you their actual contact information, because just in case they might win. All right, and make that prize. Make that incentive something that's valuable. If you turn around and say, I'll give you a $20 gift card, all right? They're thinking $20, but I got to give them my information, and then they're going to be bothering me for the rest of my life. Nah, I don't want to do that $20. All right? Make it something that's special. I like doing a $100 gift card for them. All right? Not for everyone, for the raffle. All right? For the completely random raffle. Okay, so let me ask you this. If I have 15 people come through the house, all right, during an open house, and I have a $100 gift card raffle, all right, 15 people come through the house, and I had 5 really, really, really strong leads that came through the house. Who do you think wins that raffle?
One of the strong leads, yeah.
It's so strange how those people that are really interested and those people that convert easy, they seem to win all the time. It's just the weirdest thing.
It's the strangest thing, because guess what? I might have 5 winners. and I'm going to contact every one of those people and say, hey, I just wanted to let you know that congratulations. Your name was completely randomly picked out of this hat, and you won this gift card. And you have to come by my office, come pick it up. All right? And then I'm going to hang up and I'm going to call the next person. Hey, congratulations. You won this gift card. Congratulations. And then I'm going to call the third one. Hey, guess what? I got great news for you. Right? And the reason I'm doing that, and it's not about the $100 or, yeah, this is going to cost me $500. I'm doing that for my highest, my strongest, my absolute best leads. All right? And I want them to, one, feel good about me. They already know me. I'm giving them $100, so they're gonna like me, all right? They're gonna like me just for that. And I want them to come to the office to pick it up. But one of the things that is more than anything, it's a way to continue the conversation. All right, it's a way to continue that conversation. Now you're saying, hey, that's gonna cost me $500. Yeah, but if each deal is $8,000 to $10,000 in commission, I'll do that deal every day. All right. So it's make your make your open house an event, not just an open house. All right. I actually heard about that from Joshua Smith. I was on one of his calls.
Anybody wants a private chef at their next open house, let me know.
There you go.
There you go.
There you go.
Actually, great closing gift. Any of your buyers, private chef in the new home, I do it for all mine. I do discounts for realtors.
Oh, I love that. I absolutely love that. Hey, you know what? The first meal in the home catered by a private chef is on me.
How about a catered housewarming party?
What's that?
A catered housewarming party.
I love that.
You invite their friends and family, and then they talk about how cool the realtor is.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. You know, one of the things I love about doing the open house, not the open house, the catered housewarming party, right? Hey, Mr. Seller, I want to thank you for giving me the opportunity to help you to find your forever home. I know you love this home. I want to throw this housewarming party for you. I'll cover everything, right? You go get a couple sponsors to cover the food, you got some sponsors to cover this and this and that. And so forth, right? But I'm going to take care of everything, Mr. Buyer. All I want you to do is just give me a list of the people that you want to come to this open house, and I'll invite your friends and family, and I'll even invite some of the neighbors as well. Okay? Yeah, sure. Here's a list of people for you to put into your database. This is a list of possible new business for you. All right. And then at the event, you have a small little table set up on the side with some of your information, but it's not about you. The event's not about you. It's about them. All right. But people are going to be talking about how awesome you are. Look what my agent did for me. Did your agent at whatever other company, did they do that for you? You know, no, you got to talk to my agent. In fact, it's that guy over there, the bald guy with the beard and the red shirt on. All right, go talk to him. All right. So there's definitely ways to do that. You get people into your database. All right. You want to stay in touch with them. When they give you that, they give you that list of all their friends and family, all right, stay in touch with them. Speak to them on a monthly, just speak to them on a monthly basis. Send them a monthly email. Send them a quarterly telephone call. Shoot them a text message. Send them handwritten notes. I love when I send out cards or notes and things like that to people, and I love when they respond back to me with thanking me for sending me a thank you card. I sent one out the other day. Hi, John. I just received your card. Thank you so much. We're very touched. All right. I love when I'm saying thank you to someone and they tell me thank you for sending me that thank you. All right. Take advantage of the prospecting. When you take advantage of prospecting, of the smart plans, I mean, all right, by speaking to them regularly and consistently, you're going to be the one that stays top of mind. Talked about, this is open houses again. I don't know why this is here. We spoke about open houses. Social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, get it out there. You know, if you don't have a business page, create a Facebook business page now. All right. And start speaking to people on your social media. These people already know you. And what you want to do on your social media, you want to spend most of your time, you don't want to be that person that's only sending things online of business. Anyone have that friend who every time they call you or something like that, they're trying to ask you if you want to increase your credit score, right? Or they're trying to get you to buy this or join this vacation ownership club. Okay. And you're just like, dude, I just wanted a cup of coffee. Right. And it's the same thing. People don't want, as soon as they log on to Facebook and they see your picture all the time talking about how awesome you are and how your business is doing this and doing that, they're going to get turned off. They're going to turn off that station. They're going to turn on a different station. They're getting bored of you. All right. So what you want to do is have your message, about 20% of that be business based and about 80% of that being personal stuff. So even on my business Facebook page, I'm going to post things about my holiday weekend. We might post about things. It's not just like this is me at the beach. That's not what I mean when I say personal things. But it says non-business related. It might be asking about other people. All right. It might be asking about them. It might be posting a question or something to ponder about. And only 20% of the stuff that I'm posting on my business page is technically just business. All right. Make it a nice little healthy mix. If on your personal page, if you only talk about business, people are gonna hang up off your page. They're gonna unfriend you because you're always trying to get them to buy, sell, or invest in real estate. Don't be that person. And okay, this is gonna be the last thing we're gonna speak about. What I want everyone to do is I want you to think about all the sources of business that you could get. Okay, I want you guys to write down a list of all the ways that you know that you can get business. And then I want you to prioritize them of which way have you already received your business. All right. If you've received a bunch of leads, and this is not just closed deals, think about think about your leads. Maybe it's even going through your database and actually sourcing out your business. Where did I get this lead from? All right, go through your entire database, source out where you got that lead from, find out where you get the most amount of your leads from, and then only focus on those top 5 things. So a couple of years ago, I did this. I went through my entire database, I sourced out everyone, and I realized that most of my business, most of my leads came from my sphere of influence and expires. And I was like, wow, I had no idea my sphere of influence was that much of my business. I didn't realize that it was almost 70% of my business. I thought it was probably 20 or 30%. I had no idea that it was that much. And that was a big aha for me. That was a big wake-up call for me to really be more intentional about speaking to my database. What I was doing before was doing a lot of Facebook ads. And I realized that I was spending money on my Facebook ads, but a lot of the people that was in my database, I didn't get them from my Facebook ads. I was building mind share, yes, but I wasn't doing anything to actually create market share. So with that, I ended up deciding that managing my sphere of influence, expireds, open houses, that was where I was going to get most of my business from. That's where I got most of my business from in the past. This is where I'm going to focus on. So I actually slashed my social media budget in half because I wasn't getting a lot of business from there. I'd rather take that and invest in a couple $100 gift cards to give to strong leads from open houses. But go through, that's going to be your homework until the next time we speak. Go through your database. All right. Go through your database and see where did you get those people from. Put them, source them, prioritize them, focus on those top 5 items, those top 5 places. Let me see here. So that's going to be everyone's homework for the rest of the day. Tomorrow's class, we're going to go into marketing. So today was all mostly about prospecting. Tomorrow we're going to go into marketing and really see what we can do to enhance our prospecting-based business already. All right. I know we're running over on time. We have to jump into another meeting. Give me 2 quick ahas about something that you learned today or something that you think differently. And then we'll go ahead and wrap up. Give me 2 ahas.
John, I have a question.
Okay.
I was checking the class schedule for this week. There is a lot of classes all day, which I'm trying to choose which ones I go, which ones I don't. But I wonder, we want to make, we want to make calls too, but it's so many classes. So what will we do there?
Prioritize. Prioritize what's important, not what's available. Prioritize what's important. All right. If you see,
don't become a professional student. Be a professional realtor.
No, that's what I mean. I don't want to be taking classes all day, but it's so many classes that I'm trying to see what I can take and what I leave out, so I can take some time for calls.
Yep. Like I said, that's completely up to you and up to your business. All right. It's completely up to you, but just prioritize what's important.
Okay.
All right. Guys, for those that's going into productivity coaching, I just sent the link right over here. Okay. But thank you guys very much. This video will be recorded and on the Waxman Group Facebook page, Waxman Group Corner, and in the Market Center. Thank you very much for attending. Hope you guys got some value out of today, and make it a great day. We'll see you guys tomorrow.
Thank you.
Thank you, John.